नमस्ते। हम शुरू कर रहे हैं। आज हमारा टॉपिक है व्हाट इज योग एंड व्हाट योग इज नॉट। आई जस्ट शेयर दैट आई जस्ट केम बैक फ्रॉम अ मंथ लॉन्ग ट्रिप टू द ऋषिकेश। और मैं जस्ट कंप्लीट करके आई हूँ मेरा 200 आवर योगा टीचर्स ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम। एंड मुझसे रहा नहीं गया ये अ, बताते हुए मुझसे रहा नहीं गया कि मैं शेयर करूं ये चीज कि योग क्या है। हम क्या समझते हैं कि योग क्या है और हम क्या समझते हैं कि योग क्या नहीं है। सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विथ लेट्स स्टार्ट विथ योग क्या है। तो हमने अभी अभी हमने कुछ डेफिनेशन सुने कि योग क्या है। योग यूनियन है। योग हमारा बॉडी माइंड सोल को अलाइन करने का एक तरीका है। ऑल वेरी गुड, एब्सोल्युटली फाइन। अब ये हम बात करते हैं। जस्ट अ सेकेंड। ओके। तो अब ये बात करते हैं कि योग है क्या। राइट। ये डेफिनेशन तो बहुत अच्छा है। राइट। ये डेफिनेशन तो बहुत अच्छा है कि योग इज अ कॉम्बिनेशन और अलाइनमेंट ऑफ आवर माइंड बॉडी एंड सोल। लाइक सो like how we say how many cells our body is made up of sometimes. Yes, I say in the meditation also, Niharika, Alamelu, you all know that we sometimes say let's charge up the 50 trillion cells of our body. Right. The ease with which I say that, जो आसानी से मैं ये बोल देती हूँ 50 trillion cells of our body, 50 trillion cells of our body, हम जानते भी हैं कि वो ट्रिलियन होता भी क्या है। हाँ, मैंने बोल दिया 50 ट्रिलियन सेल्स। अगर मैं बैठूं 10 मिनट ध्यान करूं, आधे घंटा ध्यान करूं, तो शायद मैं 5 मिलियन तक पहुंच पाऊंगी कि कितना हो सकता है, या 10 बिलियन तक पहुंच पाऊंगी। पर 1 ट्रिलियन, 2 ट्रिलियन, 5 ट्रिलियन, 50 ट्रिलियन, तो ये चीज जो हम बोल देते हैं कि दिस इज अ यूनियन। फैक्ट, इट्स अ यूनियन ऑफ बॉडी, ऑफ माइंड, ऑफ सोल। दीज आर फैक्ट्स, no denying the facts. Up until now, I also knew there are so many things we know as facts. But when we talk about yoga, let's date back to from probably the yoga started, which could be the reason probably people didn't know that they wanted to align mind, body, soul. उस वक्त लोग काफी इवॉल्व होते थे, काफी ध्यान करते थे। तो ये योग उस वक्त आया क्यों, आया कैसे, और हमारे लिए ये योग क्या है आज के दिन, आज के चीजों को मद्देनजर रखते हुए आज के सापेक्ष में, लुकिंग एट द टाइम्स ऑफ टुडे, व्हाट इज योग फॉर अस। So dating back, when we know yoga as Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Patanjali Yoga Sutra, he had written a lot many things, a whole book scripture about yoga. But yoga dates much back. It dates to the from the Vedas. हमारे पास योग आए हैं वेदास से, right? तो जब हम बात करते हैं माइंड की, जब हम बात करते हैं बॉडी की, और जब हम बात करते हैं सोल की, ये तीन अलग चीजें। हम जब ये बात ही करना शुरू करते हैं कि इनको अलाइन करना है, तो इसका मतलब क्या है? इसका मतलब कि ये तीन अलग अलग चीजें हैं। हमारा बॉडी अलग है, पंच तत्वों से बना है। माइंड अलग है, सिक्स सेंस हमारा, इंट्यूशन, कॉन्शियस, सबकॉन्शियस एंड अनकॉन्शियस, ये सारा ही पार्ट है हमारे माइंड का, हमारे कॉन्शियसनेस का। और हमारा आ जाता है ये सोल, आत्मन। राइट। अब अगर योगा ये चीज है, तो क्या आपको लगता है ये जानने की चीज है, ये पूछने की चीज है कि योग तो ये है, ये तीन चीजों का सामंजस्य, तीन चीजों का अलाइनमेंट, द बैलेंसिंग बिटवीन माइंड बॉडी सोल। बट एक तरफ हम यहां बोल रहे हैं, पर एक तरफ हम यहीं पे मिरर में अगर खड़े हैं, तो क्या ये क्वेश्चन कभी हम पूछ सकते हैं अपने आप से कि ये चीज है तो थियोरेटिकली मुझे पता है, आई नो एवरीथिंग इन पेन एंड पेपर, थ्योरी में आई नो एवरीथिंग, Can I apply something of it in my life? Number one, am I applying something of it in my life? Number two, do I want to apply something of it in my life? Number three, how can I apply something of that in my life? Number four. And so many whys and whats and hows. अगर ये कभी मन में आता है कि ये मुझसे नहीं हो रहा, ये मैं कैसे करूं, दैट्स द स्टार्ट ऑफ योगा फॉर यू. कभी मन में आता है कि ये रिलेशनशिप मुझसे नहीं निभ रहे, इसको मैं कैसे करूं, क्या करूं, दैट कुड बी द स्टार्ट ऑफ योग. कभी मन में आता है कि ये चीज मुझे खरीदनी है पर मैं इतने पैसे नहीं कमा पा रही हूं, मैं क्या करूं, दैट कुड बी द स्टार्ट ऑफ योग. अब आप पूछोगे कि ये सारी तो हमारी डे टू डे चीजें हैं, इसमें योग कहां से आ गया? योग आया ही हाउ से, वाई से, व्हेन से, व्हाट से. योग ऐसा स्क्रिप्चर्स में लिखा है, पतंजलि योग सूत्र के पहले सूत्र में लिखा है, अथः योग अनुशासनम. अगर ये कुछ लिखा है उन्होंने, पतंजलि जी ने अगर ये कुछ शुरुआत में ही लिखा है, अतः योग अनुशासनम, which translates into अतः now yoga अनुशासनम is yoga. Now is yoga. The first sutra of Patanjali Yoga Sutras. ऐसा क्या बात रहा होगा, इफ वी थिंक टू अंडरस्टैंड, ऐसी कौन सी बात रही होगी कि उन्होंने स्टार्टिंग ऐसे की कि अतः नाउ. नाउ वर्ड से स्टार्ट हुआ, माइंड यू, इट स्टार्ट्स विद द वर्ड नाउ. तो ये बोलने के पहले का जो अगर हम प्रीफिक्स देखें, थोड़ा अगर हम रिवर्स इंजीनियरिंग करें, what could be the reason that the sage, a seer, a rishi, a muni like Patanjali started his Yoga Sutra with Ataha Yoga Anushasanam? Now is yoga. कुछ तो कारण रहा होगा. पतंजलि जब ऋषि बने, वो ऋषि बन के तो कोई नहीं आते, राइट? अपनी सबकी जर्नी होती है, तब हम ऋषि बनते हैं, तब हम मुनि बनते हैं, तब हम डेडिकेशन में आते हैं, डिवोशन में आते हैं, सरेंडर में आते हैं. हमारी सबकी अपनी एक जर्नी होती है, राइट? अगर उनकी जर्नी के बारे में सोचें, इस स्टेटमेंट को लिखने के पहले जब उन्होंने सोचा होगा, जब हम सोचते हैं एक बुक लिखेंगे, 500, 1000, 2000, 60,000, 1 लाख वर्ड्स की कोई बुक लिखेंगे, हमारे तो दिमाग में कोई कॉन्सेप्ट रहता है ना, हम सोचते हैं, उसके ऊपर मंथन होता है, उसके ऊपर हम लोग वी थॉट थिंक अबाउट द आइडिया, वी थिंक हाउ वी विल राइट इट, वी थिंक अबाउट द फ्लो, फ्रिक्शन करते हैं दिमाग में, राइट? तो इतनी बड़ा योग सूत्र देने के पहले भी कुछ फ्रिक्शन किया होगा ना उन्होंने अपने दिमाग में. फ्रिक्शन क्या रहा होगा? ये इन्नेट एक हमारी क्वालिटी होती है, एबिलिटी होती है, इंस्टिंक्ट होता है हमारा, ये जानने का कि how am I here, who am I, what am I doing here, what is this life all about, why is all this existence, why is everything anything at all. किसी के भी मन में, यहां पर आप कितने लोग हो, लेट मी सी, 7, किसी के भी मन में, 6 के मन में, मैं पूछना चाहती हूँ, आपके किसी के भी मन में कभी ये सवाल आता है? कभी ये सवाल आया है? रेज योर हैंड्स प्लीज, आई वुड लाइक टू टेक सम शेयरिंग. यस निहारिका, गो फॉर इट, बोलो.
यस मैम, आया है बहुत बार. मैं कौन हूँ, कहाँ से आई हूँ, कहाँ जाना है, वाई डू आई एग्जिस्ट.
Exactly. संस्कृत में इसे बोला जाता है, एक महामंत्र है संस्कृत में जिसे बोला जाता है सोहम, जिसे योगानंद परमहंस जी ने हमसा का नाम दे दिया था. सोहम 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 सोहम, ये महामंत्र है। आप जपते जाओ जपते जाओ जपते जाओ जपते जाओ जपते जाओ जपते जाओ, क्या हो जाएगा? सोहम को अगर हम लूप में जपते जाएं जपते जाएं जपते जाएं जपते जाएं, कभी कभी कैसा सुनने लगेगा? सोहम 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 सा हम सा हम सा हम सा हम सा हम सा हम सा, राइट? तो योगानंद जी ने इसे नाम दे दिया हमसा। इस महामंत्र को नाम दे दिया हमसा, हमसा महामंत्र। सोहम था, हमसा अब हमसा के नाम से जाना जाता है। ज्यादातर जो क्रिया योग करते हैं, या जो इनके इंस्टीट्यूट से अटैच्ड है, या जो भी योग में क्रिया के बारे में जानते हैं, वो जानते हैं हमसा मंत्र। इंटरेस्टिंगली, उनका जो नेचर था, उन्होंने हमसा को रिलेट कर दिया हंस। हंस मीन्स स्वॉन, राइट? हंस हम हिंदी में बोलते हैं, हमसा वो बंगाली थे, उन्होंने हमसा ऐसा कहा, और उसको रिलेट कर दिया स्वॉन, व्हाइट स्वॉन, सरस्वती मैया के वाहन से। सरस्वती, मां सरस्वती राइड्स ऑन हमसा। व्हाट इज सरस्वती? सरस। व्हाट इज सरस? एफर्टलेस। स्वाति, फ्लो। So what is Saraswati? Effortless flow. Going on Hansa. Hansa, swan. माँ सरस्वती clad in white. वो सफेद वस्त्र पहनी है. On हंस, swan, सफेद वस्त्र. Right? Everything is about white. Everything is about purity. Everything about knowledge. Knowledge flowing effortlessly. So सोहम जो महामंत्र है, वो आया कहां से? Soham, Niharika, if you know Ala Maloo and Niharika know, and Dilip ji just joined. We all know that we do this Soham meditation in our chakra meditation, right? But ये Soham Mahamantra आया कहां से? From where did Soham Mahamantra come? सोहम का मतलब क्या है? इसके ऊपर चर्चा करेंगे तो शायद समझ में आएगा कि सोहम महामंत्र कहां से आता है. From where does सोहम come? From where does Atha Yoga Anushasanam comes? Soham means I am you. You am I. This is that. And that is this. This is a profound answer. And this answer can go on for 9 days sermon, satsang. Just this is that. That is this. You am I. And I am you. This small 2 sentences, we can have a satsang over it for 9 days at a stretch without any, without any deviation on the topic. But this answer contains such profound meaning, which should not be, which I do not like to concise, but here, let's concise for the matter of the topic that we are discussing, that this is that, and that is this. This is an answer saying कि you, तुम, मेरे अंशो, you are a part of me. Om Purnamada Purnamidam. You are a part of me and I am a part of you. So this is the answer of Soham Mahamantra given to whom? If Soham is a Mahamantra or Hamsa is called by Yogananda Paramhansa, and the meaning of the Mahamantra concise means this is that and that is this. You are me and I am you. Comes from where? Which question is being answered? What is the question here? Reverse engineering. What is the question here for which the seeker is getting the answer? You are me and I am you. This is that and that is you. The question arises from this deep, innate the quality of a seeker, of wanting to know, who am I? In Sanskrit, converted to in Sanskrit? Anyone?
Koham.
Very good. In Sanskrit, it's koham. Who am I? For him to come and reply, soham. This is that and that is you. So the beginning of yoga, the starting of yoga can be this innate inquisitiveness which comes and makes us ask, koham, who am I? For us to get the reply, soham, you are a part of me. So I am a part of you. How beautiful is that? So coming to what yoga is, and going back to Patanjali Yoga Sutra, starting with Atha Yoga Anushashanam, and now is yoga, means what? Means wherever you are, whenever you are, in whichever state you are, yoga is for you, because now yoga comes in front of you. So the time for you for having yoga is now. So if you were in 4th century BCE, now it's called BCE. When I used to make my son study, it used to be known as AD. Anyone remembers this? Now they call it BCE, before Common Era. CE is Common Era. BCE is before Common Era. That is the birth of Jesus, which is supposed to be, I don't know if it is 0 or if it is 1. In the timeline, I think it is 1. It should be 1. Let's not call it 0. So BCE is before Christ was born. So if you were 4th century BCE, 4 centuries, 400 years before BCE, before Christ was born, Atha Yoga Anushashanam, that time yoga was for you. If you were born in 15th century, became a seeker, you wanted to know who are you, Atha Yoga Anushashanam, yoga was for you that time. Yoga is now. So if you're coming in 2070, 21st century, 2070, when is yoga? Atha Yoga Anushashanam. Yoga is now. So there's a profound understanding about just reading a Sanskrit verse, a sutra of Patanjali, Atha Yoga Anushashanam. Okay, in English translation, now is yoga. Okay. No, it's not okay. Because yoga is first of all for people, those who want to seek. Seek what? Seek more. Seek more from their life. Yoga is not for people, those who are seeking health and seeking to perfect the asanas and pranayams and 1 hour of all this and that and this and that. And then the whole day, 23 hours in no yoga. Yoga is not for them. Yoga is not for people, those who are just wanting to seek the perfect pose of asana, the perfect way of pranayam, the perfect mudra, the perfect bandha, the perfect anatomy, the perfect everything of yoga. Which muscle is affecting, which bone is getting affected, what happens when you do this, what happens for diabetes, what is for the BP. You can perfect it to the T, to 100%, but still not be in yoga. So what yoga is not? The things which I just mentioned. Perfection of asanas for 1 hour in the morning and 23 hours to stay. Just everything is good, because I did asanas in the, I practice yoga, I do asanas in the morning, I do pranayam also 10 minutes. Yes, shavasana also 2 minutes. No, probably you're not doing yoga. You are in all probability not doing yoga. No, I do yoga. That's a different thing. 1 hour in the morning, but I get stuck in my career because I'm not able to escalate because I've got a, one of the most rubbish bosses, and I'm not able to get my promotions. I do all the work. No, you're not doing yoga. I'm a homemaker. I'm stuck in my house. The people around me are good for nothing. I just work for them, do my job for them. They're so disrespectful. They're so this, so they're so that. No, no, no. You're not doing yoga. You know, this world that needs this politics, this politician is that, this is that, this is this, this is this. All these endless chatter throughout the day. I'm sorry to say we are not doing yoga. We can perfect our asanas, we can perfect our mudras, we can perfect our pranayam, we can perfect our bandha, we can perfect all the parts of the body, what is happening in your pineal gland and pituitary axis and all that. Sorry. Or the CSF coming up, your Kundalini Shakti awakening, your cerebral spinal fluid getting rising up, and all that science we must be knowing. But ultimately, we are not in yoga. And that is why the person who wants to lose weight, one chart, diet chart, two diet chart, three diet chart, four diet chart. You know what? I can do 20 days, but the 21st day I cheated, and you know what? Everything washed away, and then I couldn't go back. Yes, you were walking. Yes, you were doing asanas. Yes, you were doing pranayama, but you were not doing yoga. Otherwise, it wouldn't have washed away. It wouldn't. The balancing of the body with the mind, with the soul, the balancing of what we are with the circumstances around us. It's a paradoxical statement, but it is true that it requires immense effort. It's effortless. Both are true. Depending on what? On where the person is standing in their life right now. Can be effortless, can be extremely crucial, painful. Same thing. Losing weight, 20 kgs, same thing. Promotion, same thing. Seeking respect from people, letting our voice known, people hearing us and agreeing to us, coming to a consensus where our voice is kept, or our voice is also given the due credit. Effortless, painful. It is the thing is not it, the thing remaining constant changes according to where you have taken your being. And the first thing we do not recognize is it is so easy to hide behind the 10, the 10, like just like there are 10 commandments, there are 10 excuses. The 10 commandments of 10 excuses. Mostly we have framed our life around those 10 excuses. You know what? But because of me, because of my this, or because of that, or because of this, or because of that. We have framed ourselves in those 10 excuses. So, knowledge of yoga means to refine, our thoughts, to start to filter our thoughts. When we take a big chunk of sand and gravel and stone from a seashore and we want fine sand only, what do? We take a big, what do you call it, strainer, chalni lete, and we put it on the chalni and we start to sieve. First, what we do, we usually take a chalni with a big holes. Then we can fine the chalni to get finer sand. Yoga is about refining our thoughts and the actions, not to refine the actions, not to refine the saying 20 days I will not have this thing, 40 days I will not have, today I will not have the 1 week I will not have that thing. I will never do that to him. I will never do this to him. I will never do this to myself. It's not about action. Yoga is not about giving yourself actions. Far from it. Yoga is about refining your thoughts. Just like a byproduct, your actions follow. And just like a byproduct, you start to work on your ego. Right now, most of us don't even know what is ego. And ego is so smart, is so cunning, is such a, it can be a spy. And if our ego goes, if the ego can be hired, all our egos, they are such good spies. They can enter such parts of our mind and brain and everywhere. We have no clue. We have kept all our doors open. So the ego is our biggest enemy. Having said that, when we start to take the gravel and the sand and we start to do the sieving, when the thoughts start to go finer and finer and finer and finer, guess what? The same ego, it can be our biggest ally. The same ego can be our biggest ally. So everything is within us. The ego is within us. The seeker is within us. The sadhak is within us. The knowledge is within us. To whom it operates, to whom it reveals itself, to whom it chooses to come, the one who is ready. The one who is ready. And how do you be ready? There are tools and there are means to do that. But the first thing is to have this inquisitiveness, have this want of wanting more, to have this thought of thinking more, to not to be satisfied to where we are right now, to know that even if we are in the deepest of the tunnels, we can still march ahead one more inch in one day at least. So the yoga is about Atha Yoga Anushashanam. Now is yoga for you. If you have chosen to come here, if you are choosing to hear this, believe it. It's the time for you to know that now is yoga for you. What you do of the session, what you think about the session, what you do about it depends on the degree of the inquisitiveness, the force that is coming. We all can be geniuses because we all get those ideas. But only one becomes Albert Einstein. The degree of what to where you can take that inquisitiveness, the degree or that depends on you. That depends on you. That depends on me. If I have a thought, at the finest level, if I get a thought, for it to become a genius thought, what do I require? I require to think about that thought more, isn't it? And what happens if I do not think about that thought more? It fades. Every good thing fades, every bad thing fades. Anything you take your awareness on will grow. You get the thought, you think, wow, what a thought. You do not take the labor to write it down, to nurture it, to give it your love, to give it your affection, guess what? It will fade. It will fade. But who, because we are so externally engaged, using this open, hardly, not many days, sometimes the days pass by when we, close our eyes and sit and talk to the one who is giving that thought. We can easily, one of the first things which we think we can easily do is we can sever the connection with that. The conversation we have to have with this, with that, with all, everything important, that we can do tomorrow. That connection, that conversation, tomorrow. कल करते हैं. कल भी तो रहेगा वो तो कल भी रहेगा. आज ये नहीं किए तो डेडलाइन नहीं मिल पाएगी. आज वो नहीं किए तो उसकी डेडलाइन नहीं हो पाएगी. आज ये ज्यादा जरूरी है, आज वो ज्यादा जरूरी है. आज ये खाना खाना जरूरी है, आज ये वाली फ्रेंड से बात जरूरी है, आज इस प्रोजेक्ट पे काम जरूरी है. पर इस सब के बीच में वो कनेक्शन उधर से, वो तो कल भी रहेगा, कल कर लेंगे. या कई बार तो मन में ही नहीं आता कि वो कनेक्शन तो किया ही नहीं, वो तो कनेक्शन जरूरी था, पता ही नहीं है कि वो कनेक्शन कितना जरूरी है. Then we are not in yoga. We are not in yoga. If we are bound, we are binding our life in 10 excuses. गिन के 10 होती है सबके पास. मेरे पास तो 10 से बहुत कम ही थी. मैंने अपने आप को बांध के रखा था. जहां पर भी हूं, what I think is correct. My logic, my intellect, what they are saying is correct. Anything new, सो 10 जो होती है ना हमारी एक्सक्यूजेस, उसमें हम अपने लाइफ को बॉक्स करके उस छोटे से बॉक्स को खोलते हैं, उसमें से एक एक्सक्यूज निकालते हैं, आज यूज करते हैं, उसको संभाल के वापस रख देते हैं, बॉक्स को बंद कर देते हैं कि ये एक्सक्यूज फिर काम आएगा ना 10 दिन बाद. सो द मोमेंट वी स्टार्ट गेटिंग मोर एंड मोर inquisitive, not necessarily we have to go to a temple or a mosque or a church or a synagogue or anywhere. Not necessary. If you're not going anywhere, still you can be a yogi. Because always understand that we are not what we think we are. And I've said this earlier also, I think in one of the sessions, we are not what we think we are. We are what we think all day long. हम जो सोचते हैं कि हम हैं, वो हम नहीं होते हैं. पर जो हम पूरे दिन सोचते रहते हैं, वो होते हैं हम, वो जरूर हम होते हैं. Also, one of the facts is, we are not our thoughts. जो हम सोच रहे हैं, वो हम हैं ही नहीं. What we are thinking that we are not. Suppose if we stand in front of a mirror and we are dressed very nicely, we look ourselves in the mirror. If we do not have the mirror, how do we know that we are dressed very nicely? Yes or no? So when we look at that mirror and look at the mirror and we say, oh wow, what a beautiful clothes I'm wearing, what lovely hair I'm having, how good I'm looking now today, and this is looking really nice, that is looking really nice in me. What are we doing? All those thoughts, or I'm not looking good enough, my face is so patchy, why I have this, and why is my hair so frizzy, why, whatever we are thinking, by looking at the mirror, at that mirror we are thinking, right? Thinking I'm very good, not true. Thinking I'm very bad, not true. We are not what we think that we are. And then slowly, when we are not aware, not taking that awareness over there, we start to think that this is what we are made up of. I am going to be the best baker in the world. I am going to be the CEO of my company. I am going to be the best husband ever, the best wife. I'm going to be the best mother on the planet. I'm going to be the best child. I'm going to prove this. I'm going to take this degree. I'm going to take this. All this good, bad, ugly, everything what we have written is in the mirror. Every day we get up, within 5 seconds, if we are not working on ourselves, if we are not working on our awareness, within 5 minutes, we will see cut, all the mirror coming up and standing in front of us. Okay, I'm this, now I have to do this. And one day, one of the things, I will do this. Nature doesn't want you to do this. Now what happens? You are not doing this. Your dreams break. When they break, they shatter, pieces everywhere. And what do we think? Hame kya laga? Because I know I am not me. I am my thoughts. I am this. I'm good, bad, ugly. This mirror I am. I'm not here. This who is watching is not this, is this. In front of the society, in front of the relatives, in front of the family and friends. So in front of oneself also. So when this shatters, all over the place. Words like depression, anxiety, anger, frustration, everything coming. Small things where we will find enjoyment. How we will find enjoyment. How can we find music in a traffic jam? How we can, if there is no salt in the vegetable, how we can have the resilience to just quietly walk away saying the vegetable is lovely to taste. Just chupke se take some salt and sprinkle and have it. How? We are a reflection of not what we think that we are, but what we think all day long. And then to know that we are not even the thoughts. We are something else here deep down. So the knowledge and the practice of yoga comes way back. Somewhere, some refined thoughts are coming. Sometimes while drinking a coffee, while having a cigarette, while having a peg, while talking to someone, while traveling in a bus or a railway or in a car, just mind wandering, and sometimes look at some beautiful sunset or a sunrise or some beautiful something stirring somewhere inside, deep, बहुत पीछे छोड़ा है लगता है जैसे, and then we are not able to cling to it. Only if we could just cling to the thought, wow, what a beautiful sunset, what a beautiful night sky, what a beautiful star. How? From where? Who? कैसे? क्यों? मैं क्यों ही हूं? और मेरा रोल क्या है? बस आना और ऐसे ही निकल जाना. If these thoughts are not coming, I'm not saying, Patanjali is saying, sorry. So if these thoughts are not coming, not even begin to think about yoga. We can just begin to think about yoga when some spandan, I don't know the English word for spandan, just give me a second. I don't know the English word for spandan, if anybody knows. Vibration can be one. So if that something flickers, something vibrates, like a baby, if you feel like inquisitive, So that inquisitiveness, hold on to that. Because from where could be some strings which are attached to the roots of yoga. So with that, we are already 45 minutes into the session, and I would like to open the window today for the next 10 minutes to any question answer that you would have. Because in the forthcoming days, we will now talk about what actually yoga is and how we can go about it, right? So for today, let me end the section here. So Om Shanti, 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 Hari Om Tat Sat.